Hello, everybody. We are live and welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show, the review. I am your host, Kieran Stewart. I'm going to carry on with that one because it makes us sound a little bit more professional. I need to upgrade these headphones. Any sponsors out there that want to sponsor me some headphones and the rest of the gang, obviously, we'll give you shout-outs weekly. Send them through. Drop me a message in my inbox. Today, as you can see, we've got a top panel here. It's our usual scouts. And a new one at the bottom. We've got a special guest today. First of all, we're going to start off by saying hello to our chief scout, Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, I'm all right, Kieran. Hello, everybody.
And next up, we've got Jerome Marks, the marksman. How you doing, Jerome?
All good. Good evening, everyone.
And we've got Simon, the chef, pal. How you doing, Simon?
Evening, everyone.
And our special guest at the bottom is going to be talking all things Bundesliga. It's a sports journalist specialist. It's Marie Schuttel-Bockham. How you doing, Marie?
Hi, Kieran. Hi, everyone. Glad to be here. I'm doing well.
All the way from New York, people. Yes, New York. I told you we're international. Let's even this up a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so people, how you doing in the comments section? How are you doing, everyone? It's nice to have you here. Okay, we're going to have Marie on a weekly basis. She's going to give us updates on the Bundesliga, transfer news coming out of Germany, and talk about some top players and the best youth prospects in the game in Germany. So we're going to start off today, Marie. How are you doing?
Doing well, Kieran. Yeah, tuning in from New York. I've been following the Bundesliga, at least the German team's performance in the Champions League. We have two German semi-finalists, so that was really big. And of course, the transfer happenings. It's kind of like the hot time right now. Everyone's watching what Thiago might do. So yeah, just keeping up with everything.
Yeah, 100%. We've got plenty of questions. Well, not too many because we've only got you for a short amount of time. But I wanted to start off with obviously one of the biggest rivalries in Germany, Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. How do you think they're gonna get on next season? Do you think it's going to be a tighter battle?
It's difficult because the reason why it looked tight at the beginning of last season was because Bayern did so poorly early on in the season under Kovac. But ever since Hansi Flick took over, starting with that resounding victory against Dortmund that we saw in November, they've just been flying. You know, they only had one tie since the restart, one draw. And of course, they beat Barcelona 8-2. So everyone's a little frightened at the moment. But Dortmund did really well to keep Jadon Sancho. I think very few people thought that would happen this summer. Everyone kind of expected him to join United. And they brought in Jude Bellingham, who's a really big talent and who's been performing well in the preseason games. And Giovanni Reina is looking very promising, the young American winger. So I think, if they're lucky and they play their best, they could be challenging Bayern. And I'm also looking forward to see what Leipzig does because this is their second season under Nagelsmann, so I think they could challenge as well. But Bayern at the moment, they're in their own league.
They are. They're unstoppable. Just on Jadon Sancho, where over here it's not. There's still people feeling that the Jadon Sancho deal between Man United and Bayern Munich could still happen, maybe a last minute. Is it completely dead in the water, would you say?
Yes, because Michael Zorc, the Borussia Dortmund sporting director, he doesn't mess around. And he said that because United missed that deadline and because Jadon Sancho traveled to the preseason camp with Dortmund, he said it's not happening this year. And Dortmund doesn't need to sell him, you know. They don't have financial troubles. They're a stable club. So they're not a developing club, at least that's not how they perceive themselves to be. And Jadon Sancho seems to be fine. He's not protesting or anything. He's not being a bad-tempered lad about this. So I think he'll stay another year.
Yeah, I mean, we have always said that from the start. If Man United don't pay the money, he won't push for a move. He's a very professional kind of guy. You said that Jude Bellingham's hit the ground running. He's doing well over in Dortmund. And Giovanni Reina, you expecting high hopes for them next season then?
Oh yeah, I mean Reina is so talented. He's even at the pretty much since the winter break, he's had games for Dortmund, including in the Champions League. He started their first leg against PSG, and he's had a few assists and even a dream goal, kind of like left boot outside of the box. And he's very technical, and he's looking to get that number 10 spot. So actually, Favre is throwing it in from the wing to the middle, and it will be that Marco Reus position, because Marco Reus is still going to be injured for a long time. So yeah, he's even coming into the starting lineup.
Yeah, another player that the Dortmund have got in on loan is Rainier Jesus from Real Madrid for 2 seasons. He's going to be. I think I really rate him. He should be a star for Borussia Dortmund. They're expecting good things over there as well.
Yeah, and it worked so well with Achraf Hakimi. It was a similar deal, so a 2-year loan without an option to buy. And now with Rainier, this could be a promising business relationship with Real Madrid that they have going there. So yeah, there's not a lot of pressure because Dortmund has so much quality in the squad that people don't expect him to perform immediately. But if he does, then all the better. Yeah.
Yeah. So Thiago Alcantara, are Liverpool fans going to be happy within the next couple of weeks? Is he off there? Is he signing? Is it going to finally happen?
Yeah, I mean, Bayern is already kind of resigned that he's leaving. Apparently, there were tears at the Champions League title celebration at Allianz Arena. So that was 2 days after the match. All the players and their families had a big party in the Allianz Arena back in Munich. And he was there with his wife and their children. And apparently, quite a lot of people cried. And he said goodbye to all the players. And Michael Rummenigge, the chairman, has said to the press that they can't keep him, that he's asked to leave. And that they're just waiting for an offer now. So now it's just up to Liverpool to basically pay up, and then he's out. So Bayern Munich isn't even fighting for him anymore. They've kind of said, well done. And he was a key player in the semi-final and final. I think besides Manuel Neuer, he was probably the best player in the final for Bayern Munich. So Liverpool can really look forward to having him join their ranks.
Do you think it's going to be a big miss for Bayern then?
Yes, I do, because they don't have another player like him. They've got Corentin Tolisso and Leon Goretzka are very strong box-to-box midfielders, very dynamic and goal threats. And then, of course, Joshua Kimmich is more like a strategist, a holding midfielder. But the technique and vision that Thiago has is so rare. The last player that Bayern had of similar quality in that sense was actually Xabi Alonso, so a fellow Spaniard. So it's a shame. I think it's a shame for the Bundesliga and also for Bayern to have him leave. And I think he's joining a squad that also doesn't have those qualities yet. I mean, Wijnaldum and Henderson, like Goretzka and Tolisso, have a very different mold of player. So I think he really adds something to the squad.
Yeah, he does. And have they? Do you think there's going to be any sort of resolution to the David Alaba contract dispute?
Yeah, I think basically he has Pini Zahavi, the kind of infamous Israeli agent, and he's playing hardball. But I do think it's all tactics and that he's trying to get a very good salary out of Bayern. And I expect David Alaba to stay at Bayern Munich, actually. Yeah, I think they're kind of like using PSG and Man City to get more money out of the Bayern board because Zahavi is demanding that he comes up to the level of Manuel Neuer and Robert Lewandowski in terms of their wages, which is obviously very, very high. That would be another league for Alaba. But Alaba is so important to the club and to the fans, and he's someone that the fans identify with because he came to the club when he was 16. So I really think that he'll stay, and I think he wants to stay. I think he just wants to squeeze out as much money as he can, but I think he'll extend his contract.
Well, he can get that money from probably half the teams in the Premier League if he wants to join any of them. Trust me, they'd take him up on that. And finally, Leeds have just signed a new player, a defender from the Bundesliga, Freiburg. His name's Robin Koch. Do you think he's got what it takes to play in the Premier League?
Yeah, I think this is a brave decision by both sides for him to join the newly promoted team. And for Leeds to sign him because he's quite slim still, so he still needs to bulk up a bit for the Premier League. But he has everything it takes. He's a very modern centre back. He's someone that Guardiola admires, that type of player. So he likes to play out from the back. He's actually good at dribbling too. In his youth and academy days, he was a midfielder. So he's very capable technically. And Joachim Löw, the German national coach, actually, rates him very highly. And he was going to be in the Euro squad this summer. So this is a great game for him. And of course, Bielsa is so fantastic tactically that I think this could be a really interesting switch. And the last guy who joined, the last defender who joined Freiburg who went from Freiburg to the Premier League, of course, went to Leicester. And remind me of his name, the Turkish international.
Sionchu?
Yes, exactly. I mean, look how well he did. So they have a good pedigree, and they're well-developed players there. And I think Robin Koch will do well. He might need a few months to settle in, but I think in the long term, this is a very sound investment.
Yeah, well, he's playing under a great manager in Bielsa. Marie, the amount of information you've given us there is absolutely phenomenal. I'm fully looking forward to having you on every week. Like, I've got to get ready because I don't feel like I was fully prepared for you there. But I mean, brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Marie. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. I hope the kids weren't too loud in the back.
No, don't mind kids. We get used to them. They're all right. I deal with 3 of them here on a weekly basis anyway.
All right. Always a pleasure, guys. I
All
hope
right.
you have a
Thanks
great
very
show.
much. Take care.
Thanks, Marie.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Marie.
Thank you.
Bye, Marie.
I'm wearing a shirt next time. Bloody hell.
Well. Weekly
Incredible knowledge.
Weekly basis, people. Marie's knowledge is phenomenal. So if you've got any questions, feel free to put them on in our comment section down below, or feel free to drop us a message on the Twitter page. Now, let's get into the meat and 2 potatoes of this show today. It's Wolves and Leeds. Although we gave Leeds a little bit of an insider knowledge on what Robin Koch is about, but don't worry, we've got the docile sounds of Jerome Marks giving us his view on this player as well.
Yeah.
But first up, we've got Wolves. Wolverhampton Wanderers, since they've come in, they've been exceptional in the Premier League, hitting 2 consecutive seventh place finishes, racked up 59 points this year in what has to be called a successful season. Manager Nuno Espirito Santo's stock has raised every year, to the point where Arsenal were linked with him before they made the right choice. But for good reasons, though. He's a top manager, great man management, and just his persona on the camera when he's talking to the press in the aftermatch press conference. You feel probably what the players feel when he's talking to you. You get drawn in. Let's start with you, Steve. How well have Wolves done in general, and how well did they do last season?
You can't knock them last season. They did fantastic last season. This season, finishing 7th again, you can't knock that. It was a little bit disjointed in places, a little bit disappointing in places, but that's not having a go at Wolves. That's actually a compliment, because they've now established themselves as a Premiership side, and because when clubs come up, first thing you think of is can they stay up, and not only can they stay up, they've got into Europe, and at one point this season we're looking like a Champions League side. Players like, they've got Raul Ramirez, Traore, Ruben Neves, Doherty, who has left them now, the goalkeeper, Patricio. These are players that we're getting to any top 4 side. As I said just before, they sadly missed out on Europe, edged out by Spurs, which could end up a good thing for them. I think they could do with being out of Europe, concentrate on the league, because I said it was a little bit jointed in places. But yeah, they've proved again that they're a massive threat to any side in the Premiership, any big side in the Premiership. They proved that by this season by doing the double over Manchester United and Man City.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have great cup runs. Hence why I say maybe it's not such a bad thing that they're not going to be in Europe this year. So with Roll you hit but no. Overall, last season, this season, excellent seasons. Excellent season.
Jerome, how lucky were they not to get into Europe?
Yeah, so unlucky. I mean, although the funny thing is with Wolves is they were in Europe this season, and you might have thought that, like Steve said, that could hamper their league chances. But they got to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. They finished 7th in the league. So maybe they've shown this year that the past season, they can handle it. They can handle being in that competition.
Mm-hmm. And then they lost to winners, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost to Sevilla. Only 1-0. Only 1-0. So it wasn't just one goal in the game.
Mm-hmm.
As Steve said, their manager's done so well, and it's no wonder that he's been linked with other clubs. I mean, I actually went to Wolves. Went to Molineux a few seasons ago when they were in the Championship, and you go to the ground, and they've got a big history, Wolves, and they are a Premier League side. When you go to the ground, they've got Premier League stadium, they've got great support. They've just surpassed all expectations, I think, especially this season.
Even back in the day when I was younger, Wolves were that Premier League side in the Championship, which was the Division 1. Even back in the day when they had like players that half of you lot won't even remember. I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to the comment section, like Steve Ball at his latter years. Is it Dave Goodman as well?
Yeah, Goodman. Yeah.
Yeah. They were a Premier League team in the Championship then, and it was always like, why can't they get out? And they just couldn't. And then they were up and down, and now it seems like they're just getting there, secure it. And it's consistency. Simon, how long can they keep hold of this manager if they continue doing what they're doing?
It depends. If you look at other teams and their managers. If Ancelotti doesn't get the backing at Everton could look at him. I don't think Sheffield United would look at him. Chris Wilder, new deal. He's set on for the next 5 years.
I mean, Sheffield United's a different breed. I mean, if they're it wouldn't be not that it's an upgrade, but if they were going to look for a different manager, it would probably be someone like Sean Dyche or something like that.
Yeah, or maybe even Leeds United's manager if it came to it. You never know.
Or Bielsa.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he does.
So, how well do you think Wolves done last year? It's got to be another successful year, isn't it?
It is a successful year. It's a bit guttering that they didn't get into the Europa League, but. Obviously, us winning that FA Cup, I'm sorry being biased and everything. I'm glad we're in it because we need to be in it with the players that we've got. With Wolves, they're not going to be in Europe, so they ain't got that to worry about. I think they'll be dangerous next season. Mm-hmm. I think they need to look at a new right back, though, now that he's gone to Tottenham.
Yeah, because he got goals as well. Was it 8 goals he got last season in all competitions?
Yeah, like five assists.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Like Tottenham have got a seriously good deal there. I don't know how he managed to do it. It's a serious buy. Like people are talking about, like I don't know what people are talking about. His age, but this is just Twitter, so I don't even bother with some of the comments in there. It's just nonsense in some of it.
He's an Arsenal fan as well.
But that was funny. You had to see that. You had to delete.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's quality.
So embarrassing.
That's
funny.
That's quality. I mean, once you become a professional footballer, you just don't support a team anymore. You keep it still. You keep it quiet because otherwise it's just conflict of interest. But it's like we were saying, they need a new right back, and we get onto players that they need to bring in. But like you said, it's another successful years, and they're gutted, probably gutted that they're not going to be in Europe. But like you were saying, there could be more trouble for people in the Premier League.
Yeah, they could have had Ainsley. But they went in with a bad offer. Yeah, and they kind of basically mugged Arsenal off. They only offered 13 million for him.
Yeah, it's never.
That was it. No add-ons, just 13 million, 10 million up front. Yeah, not for Ainsley. Nowhere near.
I think that they probably looked at how many defenders Arsenal have got, and then they've gone, okay, you need to get rid, so we'll help you get rid. But it's not doing a favour at all. One thing I did notice was the difference in tone with Wolves. One point I'm hearing news, which was very solid, credible news, that said Wolves don't need to sell. They've got price tags on their players of 150 mil for one, 150 for the other. Then all of a sudden, the noise is coming out that prices are slashed. I mean, slashed, and I didn't believe them. But then, as it goes on and further, you're hearing more noises that potentially they could be looking to sell, or they'd be open to offers for Traore, or open to offers for Jimenez, and they were totally out of the question before. Steve, what's going on? Why has the tone changed?
I'm no finance man when it comes to professional football clubs. This is pretty straightforward. I mean, they posted profits of 20 million, pre-tax profits of 20 million.
Mm-hmm.
But they forgot to tell people they was actually in debt of £113 million.
From when they was in the Championship, was it?
Yep. But they carried on.
was.
But they carried on buying. On buying, and they ended up spending £92 million, which they borrowed from their parent company, which was. Which
this
was,
is why they needed Europe.
Which was Fosun.
Yes.
Now, to put it bluntly and quickly, they are now calculated all together. What with having no match day funds coming in, obviously because of COVID.
Yeah.
They are now sitting at £210 million in debt.
So, and this is the change. So it's not just COVID; it's the fact they didn't get Europe as well, which would have given them hit them in the chest as well.
Hence why, Kieran, you're hearing about now all of a sudden all these players at slash price.
Yeah,
they wanted to get rid of them.
Because there was talk of 150 mil. You will not sell if you want Traore. It's going to cost you this. It's going to cost you that. You want Jimenez. It's going to cost you 100 million plus. Then it was like Jimenez could go for 40 million. You was like, what? That's got to be rubbish.
Because they were sitting back like this, thinking, we'll take 120. We'll get it next week or next month or next year. But now, this has come out where they're in £210 million of debt. It's oh Jesus, God, do you know what I mean? We've got to get rid of this player. Dockett is gone for 15. Everybody, we're all, in the football game, us sitting here, we're all working out 15 million. How's he going with 15 million?
It answers questions why only £13 million for Ainsley Maitland-Niles they were offering as well.
Exactly.
And Steve said he's no good at finances, but that was brilliant there, Steve, mate. Just big smash boss. There you go. There's your question answered, mate. Next.
Hide that calculator. Just hide that calculator.
But do they sell? Should they sell those two players?
Yeah, they should, because they need to raise that money, don't they? They can't go out and spend money and keep spending it, because look at us. We're getting stronger with what we're hearing. United have just got Donny van de Beek. Everton have got James Rodriguez. Sheffield United are looking at a new midfielder that will take them to their next level. They're going to have to basically do it all over again, but this time they're not going to have the Europa League to worry about. So they're going to get a fresh start in the Premier League. I haven't seen the fixtures. I can't remember what their fixtures are, if they're kind to them or not. They could have 4 fixtures that could be winnable, and it sets them off really good. But then when it gets to latter stages, they'll fall off again, and then they'll miss Europe again, because teams are stronger and they haven't strengthened, and it's going to be more debt built up. This is the not mess, but this is the situation that they're in now.
Well, the thing is, what it was, is when they was in the Championships, they took a risk, on the fact that they would get into the Premier League by spending massively. Like, if they didn't get into the Premier League that year, potentially there'd be no Wolves, or Wolves would have gone into administration because they would have got fined. They would have, because they would have been in big trouble with the Championship. But they got up And since then, obviously, they're not recouping that money back. Jerome, if they do sell them players, are they in danger of not being able to replace them? I mean, they're not exactly average players. These are players that everyone's after.
Yeah, I think they would be in danger. They would need to, they would need to produce a bit of magic in the transfer market in terms of finding perhaps talent for like sort of good value for money, because these players have obviously got them where they are now, and to lose a good portion of them, I think would do real damage to them. So they got to hope that the majority of them stay, because the manager's got them playing in such a good way. They all know their jobs, and if a few of them go, they could be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, well, it's not just the players that are potentially thinking about going, but because there's reports that Espirito Santo is stalling on his contract due to the fact there's no investment. So it does seem like there is a little bit of trouble amongst the wolf pack. Boom, boom! Red card. We're getting yellow cards for that, definitely. Steve, Simon, who are Wolves after? What I mean, who can they get after? I mean, they've got, is it George Mendes as their main guy who's with the shopping list? He's looking at the budget now, and he's like, I don't know what you're expecting me to buy with these.
I can't work miracles.
Toes. God, Steve, what you got?
Literally, I couldn't find anything.
Oh, thank God he said that, because I wanted to say it.
I found Maitland-Niles. Well, that one's gone up to Swanee, isn't it? Right, and that was the only one I had. And then I just stopped and sit back and thought, well, what can I come with? What can I go with? And then it's just they need what Jerome was just saying just then, right? They're in a catch-22 situation where they need to keep Jimenez, Traore, Neves, Patricio, but on the other side, they need to sell them because they're in debt.
Yeah.
But football-wise, they need to keep them, and someone's got to come in with some money and save them, because next year they could be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, they could. I mean, the manager potentially is not staying because of lack of investment. If they sell their two main players, who's they getting to bring them in? I mean, Jimenez got 17 goals this season. I think it was Traore got about 6 or 7 assists, plus he bagged in about 8 goals as well. It's very dangerous. You selling your best players to then reinvest to try and get in players that could at least keep you on that level. I mean, they finished 7th 2 years consecutive. It's very hard to break into that top 6.
They're on a tightrope, aren't they? They're on that tightrope.
It is. It's very.
It says everything. It says everything. When I found that they wanted to get Dominic Solanke, and he's only just gone to Bournemouth, hasn't he, for 20 mil. So he's gone there, and basically they wanted to get Dominic Solanke to help out up front, but they wanted to loan him with an obligation to buy. So they're still taking risks. They're still trying to get into the Europa League and saying, yeah, we'll try and get Dominic Solanke with an obligation. And what we'll do then is, if we get there, we'll pay you. If we don't, then we'll just send him back. It's not going to work like that.
I need to find some footage of Dominic Solanke where he's had a good game. I'm probably being harsh. But I have not seen anything of Dominic Solanke to warrant him being 20 million anything. Honestly, and I'm not trying to be funny or trying to be horrible, but he's gone from Chelsea. He's been at Chelsea, Liverpool, Bournemouth, and now Wolves are looking to sign him. I've not seen him do anything. Nothing.
No.
I'm baffled.
I mean, how much did he go from Liverpool for? How much?
20.
He went for a good price.
20 mil.
20 mil to Bournemouth.
Yeah,
and record signing.
Yeah.
What was
he came from Chelsea's youth rank to Liverpool, and Liverpool paid 11 million, and he hadn't even played a senior game.
1 goal all season against Leicester.
Honestly, I'm confused.
Is he worse than Joe Linton from Newcastle? You've got to put it up there.
No,
ain't that bad.
No. No, he's a £40 million paperweight, mate. He's useless. He's honestly, and no, I don't bear no bones about that, mate. Maybe one thing they could be doing is looking at the youth, bringing them through. They've got a very talented youth squad. They've got some players that one's just been loaned out now to Swansea. What's his name? Walters Peters or something like that. And they've got a few other youngsters. Leonardo Campana, a young defender Justin Hubner. And I mean, Jerome, you had a little look at a few of them. What do you think of them?
So Justin Hubner, who you mentioned, he's one for the future. He's so young still. He's only 16. They signed him from Holland, and he comes with a reputation as being one of the most promising defenders in Holland. But at 16 years of age, you know, it's just way too early. So he'll join their academy, play with them for a couple of years probably, and see how he develops. Now, another guy you mentioned is a striker called Leonardo Campana. Now, he joined them in January. Hasn't played for the first team yet. He's 20, a striker from Ecuador. At youth level, he was highly prolific. Didn't have a one goal, one game ratio, but wasn't far off it. And he scored some unbelievably outrageous goals. If you look at clips of him, he scored some really quality goals. He was actually the top scorer at the South American Under-20 Championship. And he actually plays a little bit like Jimenez, a little bit like their striker at the moment. He's quite tall, 6'2". Got a lovely touch, very intelligent, aware of players around him, and he really looks good. I'm actually surprised that he hasn't featured yet for Wolves.
Ecuador have a very good group of players coming through now from under 16 upwards. Ecuador are going to be a serious force. So I wouldn't be surprised if you hear this guy's name a bit more.
Yeah, he really looks like a good player. I do like the look of him a lot. So and then they've got obviously Pedro Neto, who's already broken into the team.
Exactly.
The winger. I think he only played 9 games last season. He got a lot of praise from Wolves fans on social media. They really highlighted him. Attempts lots of dribbles a game. Really tricky winger. Really good player for Wolves. I'm sure he'll probably feature a lot next season.
Yeah, he will. And I think he'd be one of them players, if they were to sell Traore, although they would use that money to invest, I think he'd be one of them players coming through. He's been nominated for a Golden Boy Award, and he got Young Player of the Year for Wolves as well. So he's a serious talent. What are people expecting from Wolves next year? Obviously, with all this news that we've got about where they are, what they're doing, what do you expect? Sorry. Start with you, Simon.
9th, 8th at most.
Okay. I mean, that's
not bad. That's not bad.
That's still
8th or 9th at most. That's what I'm expecting. But I'm expecting them to be unbeaten at home against the top 6.
I think with Wolves, especially if we're talking about a lack of investment on this season, I think this may just have to be a consolidation season. Okay, we don't want to be fighting relegation. But, I mean, if you're not getting top 6, top 7, top 8, it's not a bad season. I think you just got to make sure you're staying in the Premier League and it's comfortable. Because, like you said, there's no investment. You've got to suck it up this season and just make sure you're surviving. Steve, how do you think Wolves will do next season?
Well, I mean, it's going to all depends, what 11 starts off at the beginning of the season. And I'm sure we could all answer a bit better then. But if they're going to be, I think there'll still be a danger, for any side that they come up against. Whether they get rid of, they're not going to get rid of all those players. I'm pretty sure of that. So I think there's still going to be a danger. I think next season maybe they will become a cup side. maybe they'll consolidate, like you said, try and do well in the cup, bring some youth through. Because with this amount of debt, it looks like they're not going to be able to buy anyone. So going by that, I think that they may just fall just outside the European places next season.
All right, and Jerome, how do you think they're going to go next season?
Yeah, if I had to say a place in the league, maybe 9th or 10th, mid-table. I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff as long as they keep their manager.
Yeah.
And the majority of their players, if they don't have like a quick fire sale, 10th, 11th, somewhere like 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere like that.
I mean, I would put down. I would dismiss this loan to this. I can't remember his name. It's bad of me. To Swansea as part of the consolidation to make sure that you've got that player off the wage bill. He's still getting game time because you're going to have less games now. So they're probably putting these things into practice already. And yeah, so less games. There are players in the squad who they will be able to ship out, and they think they can sort of replace with maybe a youth player or something, or a player of less money. So Wolves, hopefully, we've not been too savage. I think we've been all right with you. Shame you. I think we couldn't rustle up any transfer news because it just looks like there's no investment now. So don't blame us. We're just the messengers. Next up, we've got the mighty Leeds. Now, there's something about Leeds, yeah. I don't know whether it's the white kit. I don't know what it is about Leeds. I grew up loving them. I grew up liking them, not loving them, until they beat Arsenal at certain times and it hit me in the chest. People like Ian Hart, Mark Viduka, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Tony Yeboah. The names of Leeds teams is ridiculous. This is a team who got to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and about 3 years later, they were like in League One. But now they're back, and with a vengeance, I would say. They've got Marcelo Bielsa as their manager, the well-renowned man management tactician, genius, they would say. Owner who's willing to spend money, and a sporting director in Victor Orta, who is, honestly, I could listen to him all day long. He's a genius. He's meticulous. And he's brilliant. Every club needs someone with that much passion in football as their sporting director. What do you think Leeds are going to do this season, Jerome?
Oh, they'll bring... it's a shame their fans aren't going to be at the games early on because their stadium is...
rocking,
really,
isn't it?
Yeah. The atmosphere there would be amazing.
Yeah.
They're not mucking about, are they?
No, they're not.
Transfer market.
They're not.
And I think from a neutral point of view, a lot of neutrals, they want to see, like, if they're not a Leeds fan, they want to see Leeds in the Premiership.
Yeah.
Because they're people of a certain generation have grown up with them always being in the top division. They weren't used to them not being in the top flight. So hopefully they'll have an end. I think they will. I think they'll have a decent season, especially with their manager in charge. Because I think talking about him, I'm pretty sure it might have been Guardiola said that like he's the best manager out there.
Yeah, he did. He did. Owner Andrea Razzini made it clear that Leeds need to invest to sustain the status in the Premier League. Steve, they're doing that already, aren't they?
Oh, God, yeah, on the off. I'm really excited to see Leeds back. I mean, I'm of a age where I've never been a great fan of Leeds, and I'm sure if Melvin's watching tonight, he'll be remembering the 1971 Cup final. So I guarantee you that. But no, you've got to be excited by Leeds, haven't you? I mean, just quickly going back to last season. I mean, they blew people away. Everybody didn't think that they was going to get promoted. They lost 3 or 4 of their top players, like Pontus Johansson and he was the
Kemar
main one.
Roach.
Yeah, that's it. Kemar Roach.
Yeah.
And was it Jack Clark was another one who they lost?
Did he get loaned back to him?
I'm not sure, mate. I'll
Yeah.
take your word that he certainly did. But
Yeah.
then they just in the end they won the league by 2 games and by playing some fantastic football. And a lot down to their manager. The only thing we'll have to watch next season is people hiding in the bushes. But apart from that, we won't be able to worry about that. But with players like Calvin Phillips, the magician. I can't wait to see him. And then you've got Pablo Hernandez in the midfield. I can't wait to see him. God knows how long he's going to stay at Leeds for. I'm really excited to see him back. I'm really excited for Leeds. And they're really, like you said, they've already, whacked into the transfer window already. And I don't think they're going to stop. This ain't the end of Leeds.
No, it's not. And like you said, Leeds have played some really good football. I'm sure you watched the game where they played against Arsenal and they dominated Arsenal for most of the game. The one thing they struggled with is scoring goals. He plays bravely. He wants to play football. He plays it in the right way, or what people would call the right way, and he actually gets results. Do you think he's going to be? A few teams will be surprised by Leeds next season.
I think Leeds are going to win the Premier League, to be honest. I think they're going to win the Premier League. I think they're going to sign all the best players. I'm wearing white. I'm surrounded by these. I don't want them banging on my door. I can deal with it on Twitter, but not on my door.
Well, if I get West Ham, you can have Leeds. It's about time someone else.
When Viduka scored that goal at Highbury, it was 3-2. I never insulted him. I stood there and went, "Lucky, that were a lucky goal. That were a lucky goal." No, in all fairness, though, in Leeds, I think they will surprise people. I've heard Liverpool fans and I've heard Man United fans and even Chelsea fans, as cocky as they are at the minute, saying that, Ellen Road, that'll be a breeze, that. We'll do that, easy. You sure? Are you sure?
No.
Even without fans in the stadium, they're a hard team to beat. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I do not see them losing at home to the top 4.
They're a possession-based team. They like to keep possession.
They suffocate you.
Exactly. And certain teams don't like to have possession and just want to hit you on the break. Teams like Man United at the moment, they will have less possession and they let you have the ball and then they hit you on the break. But that would be dangerous against this Bielsa team because they get chances. They get chances. Anyone that saw the Arsenal game against Leeds, it's a good sort of way to gauge how good Leeds are. They keep possession and they will cause you trouble.
Look at Liverpool against us in the Community Shield. They tried basically not playing through us, but we just sat back. That's what Leeds do so good. They sit back, they bide their time, and they will catch you on the counter, but they'll suffocate you as well.
Yeah. One thing the owner also said, only a month ago, he said soon Leeds will break their record. They will break their record feat, and he did not lie when he brought in Rodrigo.
What a signing that is.
What a signing, eh? This is a man who was linked to Arsenal for 50 million euros not 6 months ago. And now Leeds
Barcelona
tried to buy him as well, but they rejected it, didn't they? Steve, what a signing.
But I believe he's one of these ones you just shocks at, aren't you? I mean, this just shows you like how clued up this Leeds are and the people are looking into their signing. This bloke's absolutely made for the Premiership. He's strong, he's big, he's just a typical Leeds player, and he's going to cause havoc in the Premier League next year. If anybody, just go and have a look at him. Barcelona wanted him strongly, strongly wanted him. But this, what does that tell you? Does that tell you Barcelona are even skinter than what we think we are, or that Leeds sporting directors are just unbelievable? That getting people to come to their club.
Yeah,
Well, I've got it on good authority that Leeds tried to sign James Rodriguez.
It might be the latter.
They tried to sign James Rodriguez, but Rodriguez obviously doesn't know Leeds.
Well, it's Ancelotti connection, isn't it? Ancelotti's bought him two clubs, I think it is. So
yeah,
there's the connection there. Jerome, I know you had a little look at Rodrigo. What do you think he's going to bring to the Premier League next season in Leeds?
Yeah, so as a player, he's very clean. He's got great technique, great strike of the ball, decent in the air. Definitely, as a player, an upgrade on Bamford. But, and this is the but, as good of a player he is, I thought there was something broken with my computer when I was looking at it. Unless I'm wrong, he's going to sign there as a striker. Last season, he scored 4 league goals. Now that is a bit of a concern if you're smashing your transfer target for a striker who's 29 and he only scored 4 goals last season. He's not one of these players that is a prolific striker.
No, he's bringing people into the game.
Yeah, I could eat my words and he could go on and become the Premier League top goal scorer next season. But
he won't do that.
No, looking at it, I don't really like stats and all that, but you would expect a striker to score more than 4 goals, 4 league goals in 29 games.
I think if you look at Bamford, though, he's not prolific. And in the Premiership, he would be even less prolific. Like,
you're talking Yaya Sanogo for me.
We saw him at Middlesbrough. He was a little bit younger, so I could be being harsh. But Bamford ain't that guy.
No.
And I think Bielsa likes that person to be someone who brings people into play, holds at the ball. And I think Rodrigo is a more classier version of that.
I think Bielsa, I heard him say that he wants to play with two up front. He wants to play with a 2.
So they've got to be getting another striker in. Simon.
Going by their links.
Stephen Simon. I know you was looking at some players. Who are Leeds after, Simon, first?
They tried to sign Rob Holding, and they agreed terms with Rob Holding, but then Newcastle have come in and basically stolen the deal. Mm-hmm. And I've been told next Tuesday that he will have his medical. He's driving up to Newcastle tomorrow. If you look as well, in the celebrations of the Community Shield, he was holding back as well. He didn't go as nuts as he usually does when all the rest of the players were celebrating. He had to hold back a few times. So I think even he knew that he would go in. But Rob Holding for Leeds, fantastic signing that. Brilliant. Playing week in and week out with Bielsa, I can see why Arsenal don't want to put an obligation to buy, because Arsenal are looking at it and going, you know what, we'll give him Bielsa and we'll see what he can do. Because he'll turn Rob Holding into something as well, as much as what Arteta could do. So they've inquired about Ross Barkley. They've inquired about Gylfi Sigurdsson. And with James Rodriguez going there, that could be a shout. I saw something that they were interested in Billy Sharp as well, but so is Sheffield Wednesday. They're interested in him as well. But Sheffield United want to keep Billy Sharp, and he's only just signed a new deal. But I don't know if that's Sheffield United going, you know what, we'll give him a new deal and we might get a bit more money for him. Mm-hmm. There was another one. There was a left winger they were looking at who plays for Fiorentina. I forgot his name though now.
Not Chiesa.
No. He's not in the first team. He's not in the first team for isn't youth academy. He's only 20 years old. His name's right hard to pronounce.
It's all right. Steve, who did you find anyone that Leeds were after? But you got Santa's shopping list there, haven't you?
I was about to say. I found another team. I think that Leeds were after. Good. I'll just go quickly. I mean, the Alex Tunzaby. I don't know if I butchered that name. They're after Rico Henry from Brentford. Was someone that they're looking at. Then there's Joe Gerhardt, an 18-year-old, but he's already signed. I think.
Yeah, from Wigan, is it?
Yeah, I think he's in it. Just
very
in the
good,
process.
Very, very good player. I think they have got him. I think they've got him. Yeah,
I think they've got him.
Yeah. They've got the kid from Liverpool, the left back as well, didn't they? They got him in. You did a golden boy on him.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I can't.
Yazin Lasso or something like that.
That's it. Yeah. Good player, another good one.
Good player.
They'll be looking at Oswald Eduardo, which could be the second striker. Lewis Nelson, a Dundee, a 70-year-old. I got in touch with our friend, our Dundee friend.
He did mention him about me. Yeah, he did mention him.
Said he's a very good player, Lewis Nelson. And that's true. That's true. Ryan Cook of Rangers. They've already given a bid for Ryan Cook. Steven Gerrard's, the Rangers have turned that down. They offered 14 million.
Yeah.
And then you got a few that are just hangers on, players like Divock Origi, Michy Batshuayi, and Florentino Luis.
What about
loads?
Are they still linked with the Argentinian? Is it Gosh? Is it Sebastian Gosh? He's Argentinian. He reminds me of he's like a young Batistuta. He's a serious player. One thing that I did notice about Victor Orta, he likes his process of buying a player is that everyone he has a chart. And it starts with him at the top, sporting director. He'll identify a player. Scouts have got to like him. Managers got to like him. Owners got to like him. Tea ladies got to like him. Once they all like him, they sign him. And if there's one person that doesn't like him in that lot, he won't sign him. And that means that everyone is on board. And that is that he breaks it down to the smallest details. They look and look again for their players, so to make sure they don't make minimal mistakes. And he's doing a brilliant job. If anyone hasn't seen him, go and check him out. He was on a couple of podcasts, one with Hillen Balagay and one with a guy called Sol Isaacson Hurst. Might know him from he's a football coach. Really good podcast they do, or they've done together. So go and check that out. One thing Leeds are also renowned for is their youth development. Leeds have a history where in only 2 games in the whole history of their club have they not had a youth player, a graduate from the youth team in their lineup. Only 2 games in their whole history. It's phenomenal. I mean, they've brought through the players the likes of James Milner, Alan Smith.
Didn't they bring Lee Bowyer?
He came from Charlton. Kelvin Phillips, who's one of the latest ones who's tearing up trees in the championships and getting into the England squad. Did he get into the latest England squad?
Yeah, I think.
They've been watching him for ages. Gareth Southgate really likes him, and if he does it in the Premier League for the first few games, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in early doors. Because
you know what they call him? Calvin Phillips. They call him the Yorkshire Perlo.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Gareth Southgate's been watching him for the last 2 seasons. So he really, if he's not in the England squad now, which I'm sure he is.
I think he is as
He'll
well.
never be.
I think he is. I think he's in the squad. I think he is. And if he's not, then he'll be in the next one because they seriously are looking at him. Who are some of the youth players you've spotted, Jerome, coming through?
So back in the day, there was Aaron Lennon as well.
Danny Rose. Danny Rose is Leeds.
Yeah. So they sold Jack Clark to Spurs for about £10 million a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah. And that's to show you the level that they're bringing through. So you got to look at him.
Sort of reminds me a bit of Aaron Lennon as well, actually. Right, he looked a bit like an old-fashioned right midfielder. Drops the shoulder, goes on the outside, puts lots of crosses in the box. Quite small, diminutive. And funnily enough, Ian Hart is his agent.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Showing him how to whip in a free kick.
That's it. Yeah. Free kicks, penalties, yeah.
Any old school Pro Evolution players would have definitely picked Ian Hart in their European Select 11. If you know, you know.
So yeah, Jack Clark's one of their sort of recent successes from the academy there. Yeah,
another one is a young Polish kid. called Matthias Bogus, attacking midfielder. Very, very good on the ball. Loves the shot. I think he scored in his senior. He scored a goal. He scored a goal in a pre-season friendly last season in Australia. He recently come out and said he was angry. He's only 19. He recently come out and said he was angry that he'd been overlooked by Bielsa, but he understands that it's all part of the journey and that he has progressed so much already at Leeds, but he's just frustrated that he's not getting his opportunity. That's kind of what you want in a player. They're frustrated they're not getting games, but they understand kind of why they're not, and they appreciate the development they've had since they've been at the club. So he's definitely one to watch out for. And potentially could be seeing this kid go out on loan and get some game time soon. But Leeds have got, as I said, Kelvin Phillips is another one. We'll speak about him in another week.
There's a guy from Fulham as well called, is it Connie Drayman?
Mm-hmm.
Cody Dramer.
Yeah.
He's one to keep an eye out on.
Yeah.
18-year-old. They paid £400,000 for it. He'll go straight into the under 23s.
All right,
very good. Very good.
So I'll tell you what, Cody Dramer, yeah?
Yep.
Kelvin Phillips, Jerome next week. He'll be having a few, tell you what he's about. You're my go-to guy now, Jerome. Any player that anyone doesn't know or what he's like, what he's about, what he has for breakfast, you're going to find out. This man here, the marksman.
Oh, I'm lighting your WhatsApp up.
And how do you think Leeds will get on next season?
I've said they're going to win league. I'm not having them banging my door down.
What do you decide?
I think they'll finish 6th.
Oh.
I think they'll get Europa League. I think they're going to finish behind us in 5th.
All right, that's a
We're
10
finished
week.
5th, they're
Right,
6th.
okay, mate. All right, Steve, how do you think Leeds going to get on next year?
I think there'll be one of these teams that, when they're on the TV, everybody be sitting down to watch. I think they'll be very exciting, scoring goals, and they'll probably let in a few as well. Ben White, he's gone now, isn't he? They've got to replace him. I think they're an awkward one. I think they'll finish round about 10th. I think they'll have a good season. I don't think they've got too many good players to struggle, and the manager is too good to be going round the bottom of the league, and I'd say about 10th next season. They'll do well.
All right, high hopes for Leeds. Jerome, how do you think they're going to get on next season?
It's hard because normally 9 times out of 10 with newly promoted teams, it's just a case of staying in the division, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to be in any danger at all of relegation. Will they finish as high as 10th? I don't know. I definitely don't think they'll struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll struggle for points. Maybe between 10th and 14th. But they'll definitely surprise a few people next season, especially if they come out of the blocks quickly. Like if their managers, if he can sort of get them fired up and they're playing the way he wants them to play, I think they'll have a half decent season.
Yeah, I think they will as well. Leeds remind me a bit like when Wolves came up. Wolves were never in any danger of anyone's mind of thinking this is a relegation battle for Wolves. It's a bit like that. I feel like with Wolves in their first season, they came 7th and blew everyone out of the water. I don't think Leeds are going to quite do that, but I think it's going to be something of a similar tale. They will. I think they'll comfortably stay in the league, and with the investment that you've seen so far, which will carry on without a doubt, the level of players that they're going to be bringing in, I suspect that they're going to be finishing in and around mid-table. I mean, it's kind of a thing at the moment. It seems to be one championship team that comes up and smashes it out of the park. First season, season before it was Wolves. Last season, or this season just gone, it was Sheffield United. Hopefully, that's Leeds next season. So yeah, that's it for the team focus. Next up, we have Golden Boy, and it was their picks this week. It was the scout picks. Can hear some papers rustling. I can hear one paper rustling from you, Steve. Not an encyclopedia of players, not a list of players, just the one.
I've got to send that player profile lot off of Jerome. He's going to love that, isn't he?
Oh, no one wants to read through that, mate. Save the trees. That's why you've got tablets. Save the trees. Steve, we'll go with you first, mate. Who did you pick?
This was hard, wasn't it? There was me in my heart. It was in my brain. There was obviously Osman Kabak, who you know that I loved. There's another one that I think someone else might pick.
No one knows who picked who, so this could be a week.
I'm excited to see if I'm right, but I promise. But in the end, I've gone for age and where they are now. And I've probably gone for not the unexpected. I've gone for Sebastian Esposito.
Oh, all right. I saw him play the other day as well when he come on in the Europa League semi-final.
One of the main reasons why I picked him. I think he's still 17 years old, or he was 17 years old when I did this. Now he's in literally knocking on the door of the first team of Inter Milan. He's a centre forward.
He's got attitude, isn't he?
Yep, massive. It's incredible.
It's good though, isn't it? It's good. It's like that sort of "I'm the man" kind of attitude.
I am the man.
He backs it.
Exactly. He does. He backs it. He's signed for Milan already. He's not going nowhere. They've whacked him a 5-year contract. Everybody wanted this kid. Everybody. You talk about Jadon Sancho and these people that are after him, Man United. Well, everybody wanted this kid, right? Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, they all wanted him. But in the end, he's staying at Milan. It's something special. 16 years old. He absolutely blew the under-17s away in the competition, World Cup competition. And then he became the youngest player in the history to play for Inter Milan, and that is some accolade when you think of the what's gone on at Inter Milan over the years. The tag that he's a wonder kid, and he should get this award is an understatement, right? He has scored 17 goals in 16 matches before they brought him into the first team at Inter Milan. He's got 4 goals in the under-17 championship, and it was all too much. I mean, his dad actually missed it, sadly. But for me, there's no, for the age and where he is now and what he's done, for me, Sebastian Esposito.
All right. Thank you very much, Steve. Jerome, you're next. Who did you pick?
Oh, hope I haven't got the same one as the chef.
Well, it's all right. No, but Jerome, you're next, mate. It doesn't matter what everyone else has picked. Like,
I just feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him, that's all.
You've got the podium, mate.
I've gone with Alphonso Davies.
I got it wrong.
He could retire now, and he'd go back. He'd go down in history as being one of the best left backs ever.
Whoa, Tierney.
I knew he was going to say that. I'm sad.
Tierney?
No, I'm only joking. He is amazing.
The guy's unbelievable. He's won the Champions League at 19, ruined Barcelona in the process.
Semedo retired, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think they signed him for like £17 million. That was the price they paid for him, Bayern Munich. I mean, if that is not a bargain, like
from Canada, they took the risk. They took a risk. Like this bear no about it. They took a risk.
Yeah, and how did the Canadian team sort of value him? Because it's got to be. I mean, it's got to be so hard to value that sort of player.
think it's probably because because the teams that were sniffing around him.
Yeah.
2, because I think he'd represented Canada already by the time he was
about 12 or something, yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So he probably had about 45 caps by the time he was about 15 at Canada. Yeah. So he's probably well renowned in the game anyway. So yeah, but what a bargain!
Yeah,
how much is he worth now?
Yeah, you couldn't buy him probably. You couldn't. He's got a contract for another 5 years there. I know it's obviously one that is now a household name, isn't he? But because obviously there's a lot of people on the list that people probably haven't heard of. But I decided to go with him. He's just too good he's too good not to mention.
It's scary. It's scary to know what he's going to do in his prime.
Yeah. I think he'll go down as the most highest transferred left back in history, without a doubt, if he ever left.
Yeah. And you've got to think, like, his game right now is very much based on his dribbling and his pace.
Yeah.
But when he starts to mature and get his defensive side, I mean, he's 19. 19-year-old. Right now, when you talk about a fullback, at a young age, what you want from him is pace, fearlessness, dribbling, and taking on players. That's what you want. The defending you develop as you go along. He is devastating the wingers and fullbacks at 19, like a world-class winger would already. And he's as a left back. He's knocked David Alaba out of his position.
Yeah. What he is when he plays against the right winger, even if the right winger's got 10 yards on him, and he still gets back and nicks the ball, catches up with him, you see the right midfielders. He takes his like soul goes out of his body. If I've got a 10-yard head start on this guy and I still can't get past him, like, what's the point? Take me off. Yeah.
He's all right. He's all right.
Yeah, no, I think someone told me that he'd done the 100 metres in like 10 something.
Yeah. Jerome did. I think Jerome said it.
Yeah. It's a speed that professional 100-metre sprinters, some of them can't even manage. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's nuts. I mean, good pick. Yeah. Come on, Simon, who you got? You better not have picked Martinelli.
I did. You might think I did it just to be safe, but basically, nobody saw it coming. Nobody saw Martinelli coming. Nobody can turn around to me and say, "Oh, you've only picked Martinelli because he's Arsenal and he were going to be in the starting 11." We signed him from the 4th tier of Brazilian football. Nobody could even pronounce his name, never mind spell it. And then basically we got him for 7 million. He came in, he played in a pre-season game against Colorado Rapids, was fantastic at both feet, dribbling, fantastic goal with a head. He can use both feet. He's proved it in the Europa League. He's not scared to go into tackles. He runs at players and gives you no time to even think what you're doing. He links up fantastic with the wingers, like with Kieran Tierney, linked up like brilliant with him. Same as Bellerin as well. He started whipping balls in. And then he's worked so good to score 10 goals in all competitions. As soon as he started, straight off the bat, he moves like Cristiano Ronaldo. He plays like Ronaldo. Like I've said, he knows where the net is. He can play as a lone striker. He can play as basically a backup striker. He's got the hunger. He's working on his weights and getting himself tougher in the league.
He looked
That's what I'm more impressed with.
Leon Goretzka and Robert Lewandowski.
Oh God, have you seen their trainer, Goretzka?
He's absolutely.
He's a unit. Even Coutinho now has shit. It's mental. But with Martinelli, he's done so good. Everyone said, "Oh, he's just going to go straight into youth system. It's another one for the future." Nobody saw it coming. No one saw that he were going to come in, and people were demanding Arteta put him into the starting 11 over Lacazette and Eddie Nketiah. And he's got himself a new deal at Arsenal as well.
And Pele said pretty much the same as you. No one saw it coming, were Pele's words.
Yep. Nobody saw it coming.
I think who was the other one? Who was the other one that gave him big praise? another Brazilian. I think it was Ronaldo.
Yeah, Fat Ronaldo. Sorry, not Fat Ronaldo. Ronaldo, yeah.
Had a lot to say about him. All right, well, they're your picks. They're your individual, opinionated. This your pick. It's your choice. You do what you like, and you picked them. 3 good picks, boys. Well done. All right. Now it's time for what everyone's been waiting for. It is the transfer roundup. Sound effect button. Here we go. All right. Ronald Koeman has asked Barcelona to sign AZ Alkmaar winger Calvin Stengs. If anyone watched my video with James Rowe, he was absolutely waxing lyrical about how good Calvin Stengs was. And Jerome, you had a little look at him. How good is he?
Yeah, great player. He, I don't know if it's lazy from me saying this, but he looks like Leroy Sané, and he plays like him. Left footed, yeah. Wand of a left foot.
He done it.
Yeah.
You know when he's good, yeah. When Jerome does the.
I could feel myself doing it then as well. He's unpredictable. He scores a lot of goals where you see him cut in and sort of bend them into the far left hand corner. Very light on his feet. Really like the look of him. He's been with AZ since he was about 12. He's just sort of grown up there. It's all he ever knows. All he's ever known. But no, if Barcelona are rebuilding, definitely a sort of good start. Good start in terms of someone to sign.
Do you think it'll be the right time for him to go to Barcelona? Do you think a move in between? Do you think it's the right age to even leave AZ?
I don't know. He's 21, so he's not sort of 17, 18. Sometimes when these opportunities come up, you've got to take them, haven't you? He could have a bad season and then all of a sudden Barcelona's like a million miles away. So
I know what you mean. Calvin Stengs. Watch out. He's a very good player. He's a very, very, very good player. Man City have made contact with David Alaba's representatives. David Alaba is not happy with his current contract on offer. We heard from Marie earlier on. She feels that David Alaba will stay at Bayern Munich. I'm not so sure. Look, she's in Germany, so she knows her side of things. But last I heard, it was Bayern Munich were very much take it or leave it. And that's the stance that they had with Thiago Alcantara. That seems to be the stance they've got. Unless they're willing to fork out more money, I honestly don't see Alaba staying. But it remains to be seen. They could fully just be using Manchester City as a way out. I haven't personally seen anything on PSG. For me, it's Man City or Bayern Munich. But that remains to be seen. Edwin Gersi, the guy who gave us information about whether Thomas Partey would want to join Arsenal, we got that via Samuel. Edwin Gersi is a very good friend of Thomas Partey, and our man Samuel is the guy that speaks to him, or he speaks to Thomas Partey's PR team. We're going to that in a bit. Edwin Gersi has completed his move to Samsunspor in Turkey, second division. He was originally meant to go to Beşiktaş, but Beşiktaş had to call off the deal due to financial issues. So he ended up doing a quick move elsewhere. Newcastle completed the free signing of Jeff Hendricks from Burnley, signing on a 4-year deal. Chelsea have completed the signing of Brazilian international Thiago Silva on a 1-year deal with an option of an additional year. Another story that we broke for everyone, that Thiago Silva had had agreed personal terms with Chelsea. What is it, about 2 days later, it was basically set in stone that he was going to be joining Chelsea. They had also signed Malak Sarr on a free transfer and 4-year deal as well, wasn't it, Si?
Yeah, and he's going out on loan.
Yeah, potentially he's going out. Was there a team? Do you know a team yet?
I've not heard any teams yet. Leverkusen have been linked, and Dortmund were linked.
Yeah,
That's
so
their two.
they're looking to do a season-long loan to the team. So, and it probably would make sense that it goes to maybe a Leverkusen
2-year loan.
2-year loan to sweeten the deal with Kai Havertz. Who knows? Watch this space. We'll keep you informed on it. Liverpool set up a friendly last week with Salzburg with the added incentive of scouting a player. Anyone that knows Salzburg, you might be able to guess what players they were looking at. I think me and Steve come up with Dominic Sabazia and is it Daka? Is his name?
Yeah, Adiembe as well, doesn't he play?
Oh yeah,
Salzburg?
Karim Adeyemi.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether he was playing in that game because he's been loaned out to Leipzig, so he could have been playing in it. He could have been playing it. He is a Salzburg player. And
But it was the middle one that we came up with.
Yeah, the striker, I think it was, weren't it?
Yeah.
That's what we think because it's different. It's kind of different to all the other ones. There's been links. They tried to get Timo Werner in, so it made us think. Do you know what I mean? And they've already got someone in for Alcantara in the midfield, so that rings true there. West Ham are trying to get rid of Jack Wilshere. Boys, what's happened to Jack Wilshere?
Just injuries, I think.
Just injury prone, isn't he? Bless him. He's going to get to a point where he's going to retire.
That'll be sad. That'll be sad because I just think I don't know. It's a tough one. It is sad.
He had all the potential.
Due to injuries. That's a sad thing. I think he's just got to keep playing. It's $100,000 a week though. It's the wage issue. I mean, I remember when he was coming towards the end of his contract at Arsenal. There was a lot of talk that he wouldn't accept the deal that we were offering, which was essentially a basic wage and then a pay-as-you-play on top of that. I think his agent tried to use the press against us in a way where it made us look like we're not giving him the best deal. And to be fair, it was a fair deal because around that time he got injured again, and then we took the deal off the table. So. I mean, it is sad for Jack Wilshere, but good luck to him, and hopefully he can get over this injury because he's a decent player on his day. Jordi Alba will be told that he's not needed by Barcelona next season. Steve, we've done a bit of a detective work, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
A bit of detective work on Jordi Alba. Yeah,
we did. Yeah,
and this is before even talk he was gone. Yeah. So what happened, Steve? Tell him the story. Got on the phone to his agent a lot.
Yeah. Well, what it was, me and Kieran was chatting, and we came up with the fact that Jordi Alba was leaving, or we found out there was rumours that he was leaving. So Kieran said, "Get onto your man and find out what's going on with Jordi Alba." So I did, and he said that, well, hold on a minute, I will get in touch with Jordi Alba's agent. And I was pretty taken aback by that. And I was like, right, okay. So I told Kieran, and he was pretty taken aback by that as well, obviously. So we were sitting, waiting. The agent came back, and to cut a long story short, my contact said there's something going on here. He's not telling me everything. He's basically said, I'm going to let you know, which he's got quite a good relationship with Jordi Alba's agent. So he couldn't work out why he wasn't telling him a full story, because he normally does. So he was convinced that Jordi Alba is having talks with Manchester City. And when you look at the facts that City do need a left back, Pep Guardiola is not happy with I can't pronounce the name, the Ukrainian guy.
What's his name?
And we just put between the three of us and Jordi Alba's agent, we came up with that Jordi Alba is in talks with City. Whether he does or not is another thing.
Yeah,
but that is definitely true.
So it looks like City are trying to. City, whoever they get in, they're getting in some serious quality in that left back position. Right now, they're talking to Jordi Alba and David Alaba. So Manchester City fans, you're about to get a superstar in that left back position. So watch this space because we're bang on that.
We'll keep on it. We'll keep
where Jordi Alba's going to be playing next season. Juventus are interested in Leandro Paredes of PSG. Olympiacos signed former Bayern Munich right back Rafinha. Steve, have you got a Everton update for us?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Shout out to Carlo, whose birthday it was the other day, and got some news on that day that James Rodriguez was signing, Alan was signing, and happy birthday to one of our biggest supporters.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Carlo. And I told you, Carlo, that all they had to do was up it. And they did up it. And what happened, mate? Happy birthday.
We've been saying Alan's going Everton for ages. You Everton fans got to stop worrying.
You've got to stop.
You're as bad as the Arsenal fans, worrying and worrying. You want
all they had to do was up it that middle, up it for 3 million, which I told you, Carlo. And look what happened, mate. You got your man. So I hope you've recovered from your birthday, mate, and you've not drunk too much.
James Rodriguez.
James Rodriguez. Everton are getting closer to James Rodriguez. He's the only thing that they've got to sort out as far as Rodriguez goes is his wages. There's a lot of talk that still has to go on about how much that he's going to get paid, because at Madrid he was on 200,000 a week. So
there's 40k difference.
Yeah,
between it.
Yeah. So there's conversations that, but everything else is done apart from the wages. They've just got to sort that out. The other one that all you Everton fans have been asking me about is Doucouré. And just like I was saying again, like I was just mentioning a couple of minutes ago, like the Allen deal, they just need to up it again. They need to up it a bit. Watford want £25 million. Doucouré wants to go. He doesn't want to play in the Championship next season. There's been talks after talks after talks. So, but just again, they just need to up it, and then Everton, you'll get your man. What I'm getting asked about a lot is Romero by you guys. But from what I'm getting, from what I was told earlier today, is that Romero wants to be a number one, and because he doesn't want to go to a club where he's going to be fighting it out with Pickford.
Yeah, I mean, not being funny, if he's been Man United's second goalkeeper for about 5 years now, it's about 4 years. So why would you want to go to another club to then fight for your spot? You want to go to a club where you're going in as number one.
Well, if he goes to Everton, he is number one goalkeeper. Let's just say that he is.
Yeah, but it's not, because you've got England international goalkeeper.
He still has to fight him, but Pickford, if he does go to Everton, it's a massive upgrade in my opinion. I've always said things about Pickford. Fair enough, he's an England international, but when he gets his chance, Romero, and he's at Everton, Pickford will not get back in that net.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Romero's a better goalkeeper than Pickford.
It's not being nasty. I'm just being honest.
I think Pickford's good, but I think he was overrated from when he was younger.
So with those two, Everton, you could end up having a good summer. If you pull those two off as well.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was another one. I know they're looking for a winger, so because they went for Everton Soares. I know there was after Leon Bailey. So
yeah,
Wilfred Zaha.
They tried with Wilfred Zaha, but he doesn't want to leave London. They said Liverpool's too far. So I think you'll be looking elsewhere for another. Yeah, he said it's too far away from London, didn't he? I think you'll be looking elsewhere for another winger. So, and from the players that you've been linked with previously, it's not going to be some slouch. Oscars was the latest one. I know Jerome spoke about him last week. He's linked to a couple of other clubs, but again, I feel like that one's gone quiet. But as I've said to these boys, it's a good kind of quiet. All right. Next up, we've got Pedro's completed his move to Roma. Messi confirmed to the club that he wants to leave Barcelona. I've got a few issues here. Yeah. People, some mugshot doubting what we're saying on this Messi vibe. But I'll tell you what, we have it on good authority that what we speak about Messi is very much true, especially when it comes from Man City people. Especially. Take that in.
Yep.
Look at the deals we've brought you for Man City. Nathan Ake.
Yep.
Ferran Torres.
Yep.
Koulibaly to the point where it is now. David Alaba talks. We told you that Jan Vertonghen had spoken to Man City on the advice of Vincent Kompany. I mean, where do we get this information from? So when we come out with something on Lionel Messi and it's connected to Man City, please take that in. That's all I need to say on that. Previously, we told you that Man City had spoken to Messi's representatives. That's true. This was previous to the report that came out from the BBC where they said that Man City feel like they're in pole position, and we came out and said the reason why they feel like the pole position because they'd already spoken to Messi and his representatives, just to see what it would take to get him to Man City. We'll speak about what was one of the deals. So one of the deals that was it Steve that Man City had offered Barcelona is
what my contact what he said to me is that at the time all we knew was the fact that there was 100 million, and I said to you that all we know is that the other player is Bernardo Silva. Didn't know the other two. Yep, the other two came to light in on your lovely Twitter. But you put two and two together, it don't take a lot working out who the three were, does it? So, and that was 100% true. That deal was offer was given to Barcelona. Now, what other offers? It's not just one offer. Just happens when a deal's going on. People come back to you and say. People are coming back and they're saying, "Yeah, but I see on Twitter this was said." Well, it may very well been said.
I had one, Steve. I had one, where I said, "Oh, yeah, this is the offer. This is what Barcelona have offered. This is what Man City have offered Barcelona." I said, "Yeah, but there is also talk that in Spain they're saying that Messi." If he leaves, he's going on a free, which is true. It's also true because it's written in his contract that in May he could turn around to Barcelona and say, "Look, I've had enough. It's time. Time is done. I've given you all I can give. It's over." And they would have written it off. The problem is it's gone past May and he carried on playing. So they are saying that the deal is null and void now. It's expired and he has to wait till next year for that deal to come around again. So that's why we're saying he could potentially leave on a free. Someone came back to me and said, well, if he's potentially leaving on a free, why are Man City even going to offer 3 players plus 100 million? Well, I'm sorry, mate, but they can't be sitting there cold hoping that Messi goes on a free. And it turns out that the deal cannot be struck with Messi going on a free. And Inter Milan come in with already an offer that they've got where it involves Martinez plus 100 mil and 2 players. So, come on, man. It's a business thing. You've got to put as many different iron rods into the fire as possible. It's business. Please, people. I ain't gonna waste my time lying. What do I need to lie for? Do you know what I mean?
Can you imagine how many different scenarios have gone on in that boardroom over this Messi deal with offers? Oh, we'll offer you this.
Hey,
no, we're not going to give you that. We're not going to give you that. Okay, what about this then? It's going to go on for weeks.
Exactly, it will. Oh, what, you don't want him? Or you want him? You want him? You don't want him? Yeah. So they would have thrown everyone in. Yeah, but no one believed us when we said that Messi had talked with Man City, but they had many a time. That's why we know that if he leaves Barcelona, it's Man City. If he leaves Barcelona, he's going Man City.
100%.
It's not PSG, it's Man City. He's going there. They're going to give everything to make sure he goes there. Ben Chilwell has completed his deal to Chelsea. Well done, Chelsea. Well done, Chilwell. Getting him for 30 million less than what Leicester said they would in the first place. 80 million was a joke anyway.
So 50.
Spanish midfielder Berham Diaz on loan. Arsenal brought in 3 youngsters last week, and we didn't get to talk about them. But we've got our man Jerome to give us a little 4-1-1.
You're watching them.
I'm sitting up here.
Come on, Jerome. Tell us what we got.
So yeah, there's a few players there. If you want my honest opinion, I think they're more to sort of beef up the youth teams than with a view to put them into the first team in a short space of time. One of them was actually signed. He got released by Spurs. A centre back called Jonathan Dinzei. He's 20 years old. He actually had a trial at QPR last season, and it just didn't go well. Only played 6 games for the Spurs under 23s last season. So again, I think he's just been brought in to sort of add a bit of depth to the youth team more than anything else. Obviously, Arsenal have Zach Medley's gone on loan to Gillingham, so they're short of a centre back there. So that's him. We've signed Arsenal signed a player called Tim Akinola from Huddersfield. Again, they haven't signed him from Huddersfield. He was released by Huddersfield. 19 years old, central midfielder. Very aggressive central midfielder. Like bit rash, in fact, in some of his challenges. Goes to ground a lot, but bursts into space, progresses the ball quite well. Loves a 1-2. So that's him, only 19. And the final one he's very young. He's only 17. He's called Salah Eddin, just known as Salah. 17 years old, creative midfielder, signed him from Feyenoord. Played for sort of all their youth teams. He likes to play box to box, and he sort of set himself a target of firstly becoming an important player with the youth team, and then his target is to sort of train with the first team eventually. But again, I think Arsenal fans are a few years away from seeing him sort of around the first team. It's just, maybe to build up their youth and maybe sort of train them in the way that Arteta wants his first team to play, so they can sort of make that move, towards the first team.
Well, the last kid sounds like he's got his head screwed on. Do you know what I mean? He's set his stall, isn't he? So you got to rate that. Jamie Vardy's been given an extension on his contract and a pay rise. His deal expires in 2023. Inter Milan, AC Milan, and Lazio are all interested in signing Luis Suarez. Tottenham also held talks. With his representatives last week. We put that out. It absolutely blew up the page. Thank you, Tottenham fans, for joining our squad now. Barcelona are not interested in Donny van de Beek. He's on his way to Manchester United, it looks like. And that just came out in like literally about 20 minutes before he went on the show. Morgan Gibbs-White was the player that was talking about for Wolves, who's now gone on loan. Very good player. He's another player who's in the Golden Boy Award nominees. He's gone on loan for Swansea for the next season. Good luck, Morgan. Benfica are interested in signing Mariano Diaz after the deal for Edison Cavani broke down due to his high wage demand. So Edison Cavani will not be going Benfica. Everything was agreed. Personal terms were agreed, but when it came to signing it, they pulled out. So I think that I'll check it out because someone actually responded on the chat on this post, and they showed me a story about the issues with his brother, who's his agent, and that they think there was sort of telling clubs that they were coming in with one offer, and then actually with all the bonuses and add-ons, it was far too much on the wages. So they pulled out the deal. Rodrigo was spoken about. He's completed his signing to Leeds. RB Leipzig, Leverkusen, and Newcastle and Wolves are all interested in Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Simon, give us an update on that. What's it looking like with Ainsley Maitland-Niles?
Well, like I said, Wolves tried signing him. They offered 13 mil. It got rejected. He's not leaving now. He's actually staying and in talks over a new contract.
Okay. So here we go. Here we go. I'm never going to say that again. I've got my own one. Not stealing one off you. Dean Henderson has signed a new deal with Manchester United until 2025. I'm sure he's one of the highest paid goalkeepers in the Premier League now, isn't he?
It's got to be, yeah.
Yeah, he is as a second goalkeeper.
He's behind De Gea.
It's mental. Ivan Toney update, Steve.
Oh.
Has he not moved? Has he not moved yet? If he's here on deadline day, I'm not coming on.
Everything was agreed and everything was sold. Everything was done. I had Peterborough on the phone to me, Brentford on the phone to me. It was all having they invited me round for a party and all that. But...
Don't say that. Don't say that word.
Oh God, we'll have him going.
Well,
sold out of volleyball's.
I'm going to bring in them volleyball's. I tell you, I will watch.
Or did you jump in your DeLorean to grab them? Bloody hell.
I can make anything, mate. I can make anything. Right. Yeah.
Can you make Ivan Toney go to another club that we can get the information before everyone else and post it? Because Simon, if he ends up at Peterborough next season, I won't let him play. I'm going down to the ground and we'll find him myself.
You're going to do a Leicester on me. One of these days,
you're going to come on.
One of these days, you're going to come on. You're going to do a transfer roundup and you go, Ivan Toney signed for it. I'll be like, what?
I know.
2 months up. On this. Right. There's not a lot to add. Ivan Toney, £9 million was accepted by from Brentford. The funny thing is that a few days ago, Peterborough bought a new striker, Bristol Rovers striker, Johnson Clark Harris. At the moment, Peterborough have had 2 offers for Ivan Toney. Celtic on 5 million. Celtic from 1 for 5 million, and obviously Brentwood for 9 million. They want 10. That's the one they accepted. Mm-hmm. He's got 9 months left on his contract, so they obviously want to get him out the door.
Yeah.
They want to get him out the door as quick as they can. As I say, they've already bought another striker from Bristol Rovers. So maybe something behind the scenes is getting done. And I will be there. I promise you I will be there and find out in the
Steve,
end.
If he's pushing for a Premier League club, someone must be sniffing about. Someone must have had a word with his representatives. Like you don't turn down a deal to Brentford, a team that nearly got into the Premier League, and say you want to go to a Premier League club. It's not a Premier League club sniffing about.
Leeds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's at Leeds. Not any bearing on Ivan Toney, but I don't think Leeds. I mean, I could be proved wrong, but I don't think Leeds would be going for an Ivan Toney.
I think as good as what Ivan Toney was in his 26 goals last season.
It's League One.
I think he's aiming a little bit too high for the Premiership at the moment. I mean, I think he's only 24, 25, so he's still got plenty of time. Go to Brentford.
Yeah.
Just go
Cut
to
his
Brentford.
teeth in the Championship.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. And then you could get promoted. You could be in the Premiership next season.
Yeah, sign a contract where if they don't get promoted, then you same as Ollie. What's his name? Ollie Watkins. Same as Ollie Watkins. Sign a deal where if they don't go up, you've got a release clause. So I mean, I'm not your agent. I'm not your agent. If you ain't got one.
Just sign somewhere. Just go somewhere. For God's sake.
We can end this pain. Rennes have reached an agreement to sign Amini striker Chirugrafi. My French is banging right now. Leads a table of 30 million bid for Lazio centre-back Luis Felipe. Lazio have signed Pepe Reina from AC Milan. Rome have agreed a fee of 17 million plus 3 million in add-ons for Manchester United defender Chris Smalling. He's going back. Atletico Madrid are closing in on the signing of Espanyol midfielder Marc Roque. And now everybody's thinking, Mark Rocker having a party. I know what you're thinking, boys. You're going crazy for that. Mark Rocker's signing here. It's like you're calm. Signing comes up. Okay, transfer exchange. Mark Rocker. Okay, the old red lions come out. Tin at the lot, mate. It's like, okay, Mark Rocker to him, Thomas Partey to him, and it's crazy.
He's a good player and all. I don't know. I don't know. Dispute
15 mil. 15 mil. I tell you
15?
what. 15 mil. I should have thrown in. I should have asked Jerome to do a little bit on Mark Rocker. I tell you what. By the time next week, Mark Rocker would probably be complete. We'll do a little. Jerome will have a little few words on that.
Jerome.
They're building up. They're building up.
They're building up.
They're
building up. All right.
He's just going to get Melvin to watch everything and just report back.
Yeah, 100%.
That do us a favour.
100%. Steve, you got a Leicester update before I give everyone an Arsenal update, because I know them comment section's going to be popping in a minute. Steve, Leicester update.
Yeah, quick Leicester update. Leicester are on the move now. Now they've got their 50 million for Chilwell. Got in touch with me, Leicester Live man, like I do every time before we come on the show. There's a lot of to-in and throw-in with bids. They've put a bid in for 20 million for Odsard Edouard, which has been turned down.
It's not surprising.
40. Yep.
Come on, meet in the middle.
They've also had another bid for Callum McGregor. Looks like they're raiding Celtic. They haven't. That's a bid. I've been told that a bid's going in this week for Callum McGregor, but they don't think it's going to be enough though.
What's the point? It's just to let them know that they're interested, basically.
That's right, yeah. And then you got they need a left back, and obviously there's rumours next week that they're going to be going in for a bit more stronger than rumours. Well, they better be. This bloke's told me. Nicholas Tagliafico and Ruben Goossens.
Yeah? Never heard of him. So, Jerome, Ruben Goossens next week.
Next week.
The list is going to be as long as this bloody list on the transfer roundup, mate.
Yeah, and they're looking at a centre back as well, because they're not going to. Well, it don't seem like they're going to give Johnny Evans a new contract because he's in his final year.
All right.
So,
what they're saying of him is a case of they've got the best that they can out of him, and he's getting on. Is that what it is? Or money? What is it? He's a good player.
I think it's like with Jamie Vardy. It's very similar. I mean, he's doing well, but I think they're just covering their bases for the following season. So that's why they're looking at Hudson Edouard. It makes a bit of sense. Yeah. And I think it goes the same with Johnny Evans. He's in the twilight years of his footballing career, and I think weeks ago we was told, wasn't we, that Leicester was going to be looking for a centre half.
Yeah, I mean, before it was Tyrone Mings they were looking at, but Aston Villa stayed up, so the chance of him then getting rid of Tyrone Mings, they're going to be asking for silly money, aren't they?
Mm. So next week, I'd say you should see some Leicester stuff happening.
Yeah, you should be seeing a lot of stuff happening over the next couple of weeks. It's international duty, so even if they're not tying up personal terms because the players are away, they're still going to be doing a lot of business. It's going to be quiet on the club front, but it's going to be busy in back behind the scenes. Let's go to a little bit of an Arsenal update. Thomas Partey. Okay, the Thomas Partey update. The latest is players out, Partey in. The latest of the player out is Lucas Torreira. It looks like he's on his way out to Fiorentina. We're looking at a loan deal with an obligation to buy, which is good in any Arsenal fan's eyes because you get to spend the money. The money's there. It's not a case for. It's not entirely about the money. It's about bodies. You need to get players out.
That's it.
Stockpiling players is no good. Look at the centre-back position. And Arsenal are trying, have not announced one, and then as soon as one looks like he's on his way out, surprise, that player's going to be getting announced. So I pretty much see that happening with what you're going to see a lot on the midfielders. Midfielders going out, you'll see one come in. Another goes out, you'll see another one come in. Thomas Partey's situation is currently Arsenal are willing to pay the release clause. So where it says Arsenal don't want to pay the release clause, that's an old story, people. They didn't even change the headline. I mean, if you type in Fabrizio Romero and Thomas Partey, you'll see that he said Arsenal don't want to pay the release clause. 3 weeks down the line, another story comes out with no backing, no sources, except for Arsenal don't want to pay the release clause. They've got nothing to write, so they just write what is already out there and just change the words around. So don't get drawn in by any of that rubbish. Stop inboxing me about worrying about Partey. I've told you, once players go out, players will come in.
That's it. They're not going to sign Partey, they're not going to sign Alwa, and they're not going to bring in a left winger if they do. I'm just saying, I'm picking names out here, making like an example. And you've still got Torreira and El Nene, and basically Guendouzi's still here.
Guendouzi. And on the flip side, again, read between the lines. I had a few people come up to me a few days ago and say, well, it looks like Guendouzi's staying. But on that basis, it looks like El Nene's staying as well. Guendouzi hasn't got a squad number. And people are trying to tell me it looks like he's staying because Mikel Arteta has turned around and said he's part of the squad. Well, it would be pretty silly of Mikel Arteta to turn around and say, no, he's definitely getting sold. Like, we don't want him here.
It's crap.
Because it's not good for a sales. It's not good for the sale. Like, if you're saying the player's there, but a club wants him, and you're saying he's staying, well, then that club's got to prize him out. If you're saying that the club, no, we don't want him, then they're going to offer you less money because they know you don't want him. Like, if he's saying Guendouzi will be in the squad next season, that's confusing a few people. They're like, oh, I thought he was going.
People got to stop thinking about because someone leaves, someone's got to go, or someone's got to come in. This happens all the time. You know, you can buy people, still keep people, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like
when Arsenal were linked to a player, well, who's he taking over? No. Sometimes you do buy a player because you want that player, not because you're getting rid of someone else, because you want that player. Yeah. It's not always one in, one out. But right now, when we're talking about Thomas Partey and Dani Ceballos, they want players out. Players like El Nene, Guendouzi, and Torreira, they want out. Same goes for Socrates, Mustafi. They want out. And Rob Holding's going on loan. Dani Ceballos update. Same, exactly the same position as Thomas Partey. Players go out, he comes in. With Dani Ceballos,
Madrid want the money up front, don't they?
Madrid, no. With Dani Ceballos, they're happy to do a loan obligation, but it means Arsenal paying a little bit more. If a club comes in, and they're willing to do their deal with Arsenal, yeah, because Dani Ceballos wants to go back to Arsenal. But Dani Ceballos is not turning his nose up to everyone else. It's not like Dani Ceballos is turning around and saying, I only want to join Arsenal. That's where Arsenal need to act fast. They've agreed stuff with the deal with Real Madrid. That's agreed. So then they go through with it. Otherwise, Betis could potentially come in and snap Dani Ceballos. But they wouldn't be paying as much money, as I don't think, because, from what I'm hearing, because Arsenal are looking to pay after the loan. Sam Greenwood has signed for Leeds. 1.5 million, raising to 3 million. Steve, you had a little look at Sam Greenwood, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, I sound like Jerome there.
You stole his noise. I nearly stole Fabrizio's "Here We Go," and you stole Jerome's "Our Noise."
He ain't painted
yellow
it
card.
yet, though, is he?
No, he's trademarked it.
That's what you think.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be getting a letter through the post.
Yeah, you know it. You know, Steve goes, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
That's the. Oh, I've done it again, didn't I? I didn't even
Sam
mean to. No, I was going to go on something else. This sticks to the football, eh? Yeah, I mean, Sam's an excellent young player, under 21 England international, 18 years old midfielder. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to see why he's moving, unless he simply doesn't want to play. Wants to play for a different club. He's 18, so game time can't be it. The reason because when he goes on to Leeds, he'll probably be in the same boat. So I can't see it. I feel Arsenal might have a bit of a Serge Gnabry scenario here. A really exciting prospect, deadly from free kicks around the box. If he's on the edge of the area, it's a goal. I've watched a few games. For England, he scored 12 goals in 14 matches at under 17 level. His first season at Arsenal, first season, he scored 10 goals and 5 assists. This season, he's got 6 goals, 6 assists.
Do you think this is a case they scored 3 million and thought, do you know what? It's 3 million for an 18-year-old here.
Maybe. He's an excellent footballer. He's got an excellent footballing brain. He's got excellent first touch. He was first pace in the whole team for coverage of a football pitch last season. And he's got this, I've watched a couple of games, and he's got this telepathic relationship with Florian Balogun. It's quite unbelievable. He seems to know wherever he is at any time. He seems. Do you remember the Bergkamp-Lundberg thing, where he used to just? It was like watching that. I think they made a mistake, Arsenal.
Right,
maybe Leeds could look at a Balogun.
But Leeds, I think Leeds great signing. Could you imagine?
I know that's what I'm saying. If they've got telepathic on the pitch, maybe Leeds are looking at that, and their managers goes into proper detail.
He's not silly. He's not silly.
Be a good shout for Balogun. That
I think Bielsa has seen what I've seen and thought, hold on a minute,
might get him on a loan. Get Balogun on a loan with old Sammy Greenwood.
Would be a bad shout. Would be bad. Yeah, I think he's an excellent player, and he's got an excellent future.
Right, it looks like you've got a good player for a decent price. Crystal Palace have completed the signing of QPR trickster Ebri Izzy. Now there's a lot of hype around Ebri Izzy. He's a very, very technically gifted player, skillful. Used to be an Arsenal youth player. Gave up football for a little while, didn't he? Jerome, you had a little look at him.
Yeah, he was released by Millwall and ended up getting a job at Tesco's on the tills, and then had a trial at QPR and the rest is history. He actually made his debut for Palace yesterday. They played Charlton in a friendly.
Okay.
He played the first 45 minutes, and by all accounts, he impressed.
Yeah.
Got a lot of self-confidence. This player. He's one of those rare players that will take players on in the centre of the pitch. And you can see him sort of producing something special. Like he'll pull a rabbit out of the hat. He's a player that can make the difference. And Palace have got an excellent player here, especially if Zaha stays and he links up with Zaha, because normally they just rely on him to create. Whereas with Eze, they've got a couple of players now that can, create chances for the strikers. So
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's called in the English Abel Tabrat. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has agreed to extend his stay at AC Milan. Bayern Munich has completed the signing of under-17 Scottish winger Barry Hepburn. Alexander Kolarov has agreed to join Inter Milan. That deal's done. Alcantara to Liverpool could happen as early as next week. We posted that the other day, and unsurprisingly, comments came out, was it today or yesterday, from Karl-Heinz Rummenigge that said they're expecting a bid within the next couple of days. They've not said it's Liverpool. But yeah, they're saying a club within the next couple of days should be putting money down. So it remains to be seen who that is. I think potentially it could be Liverpool. They know the price, they've said as well. Aaron Moyes signed for Shanghai SIPG from Brighton for an undisclosed fee. Chelsea are looking at AC Milan goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma. PSG have made an offer for Sergi Milinkovic-Savic of 60 million. Very good player. Allen to Everton is done. It's done, innit? It's done. I've seen the mock-up pictures in the kit. It's done. If it's not done, it's done. It's done like Gabriel's done. Put it that way. And you're probably waiting for Fabrizio to tell you, ain't you?
Allen's done. Allen's done.
Go on, Jerome. What we got to expect from Allen?
So he's nearly 30, Allen. So he's been around. He's played the last 8 years in Italy, and he's been widely considered to be one of the best centre midfielders in Italy. And wherever he's been in the last 8 years, he spent 3 years at Udinese and then 5 years at Napoli, and he's been like an ever present in those teams. Very tenacious, energetic. He's primarily a defensive midfielder, so that's what Everton would be getting firstly. But he can pay sort of slightly higher as well, not just as a DM. Sort of tactically versatile. He reminds me a little bit of Torreira, but a slightly taller version. But yeah, he's obviously an excellent player in terms of being highly regarded in Italy as a central midfielder. Yeah. It's just one of those players where he's probably got maybe three or four seasons left in him. At the highest level.
But hopefully that's enough to take Everton upper levels.
Is he Brazilian? Is he Brazilian?
Immediate impact, immediate impact player.
That's what they want. I think they need a mixture of them. They need some immediate impact players.
Yeah.
Newcastle have been linked with Porto striker Musa Mariga, and finally we had words from Marie earlier on about Robin Koch, but we want to hear what Jerome has to say about him. What did you think of him when you looked at him, Jerome?
So, in terms of a centre back, he's probably, how can I say it? He's never picked up a red card. He's had 136 senior appearances, and never been sent off. The last 3 years, he's only picked up 10 yellow cards, and for a centre back, it's a bit like I think Rio Ferdinand was one of those centre backs that never used to get booked. He's been compared a lot to Javi Martinez. Wow. He's got, I think, as Marie was saying earlier, his passing range is excellent and very accurate. He's got like one of the highest passing accuracy percentages, and he's, as you said as well, he's sort of just broken into the German national team, and for £13 million, which is what they paid for him. That could prove a steal. Obviously, different coming from Germany to England.
I mean, playing next to Luke Ayling would probably, the partnership sounds like it could work well. One, you got someone who can bosh you around a bit, and the other one can play a bit.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. He's got the size for it as well, 6'3".
Yeah.
So yeah, a very, very interesting player. See how he gets on in the Premier League, if he can keep his discipline.
Maybe he needs to have a word with Goretzka when he does go have a word with some of these Bayern Munich players to tell him how to beef up a bit. But it looks like they've got a good signing, and he's been called up to the German squad.
That's it, yeah.
We're done, people.
There's one more thing, Kieran.
Just one more thing.
Ryan Brewster, just before.
I nearly forgot. I would have been crucified. Ryan Brewster. I got asked this question before. Sorry. He's probably sitting there like, you said. I know.
I was just thinking of the poor bloke going, what?
Look, I'm not even going to the comment section yet, but I can see the numbers are totting up quickly. You think you ain't mentioned Hossim Mayor. That's because we've asked our people, they've not got back to us yet. Yeah, I'm not just going to make up stuff. If you've not got anything on Hossim Mayor, I don't know anything about the 50 million prepared bid from Arsenal. Simon, do you?
I've not heard it. I've put some messages out, but I've not had no replies back yet.
This is what I mean. We put messages out to the people, so it just had to wait.
They're not just sat at the other end of the phone going, Simon,
Yeah.
Kieran, are they going to message? Oh, they've messaged. They have got lives.
but we put the question out there, so hopefully we'll be able to get something back to you in the next couple of days. But I did get asked a question about Sheffield United and Rhian Brewster. Steve, hit me.
Yeah. I think it was Jay, just before we come on tonight, wanted to know if there was any truths to Ryan Brewster going to Sheffield United. So we did. We got in touch with two people, a correspondent who deals with Sheffield United and someone inside Sheffield United, and the links are true. The Sheffield United are interested in Ryan Brewster. Liverpool want 13 million, but Sheffield United want a loan. So that's where you are on that. But it's perfectly true.
Oh, not
Two
being
people
funny yet,
had
but
it.
I think if Liverpool willing to sell, you got to put your hand in your pocket there. Did he? What was his goal ratio when he went to Swansea in the second half of the season last year?
But they're struggling, aren't they? They're struggling, Sheffield United, with money. Chris Wilder come out and said it's just loans and championship players and things like that.
That's tragic. How they got no money? It's baffling. All right. Thank you very much, people. We'll say hello to the people in the comment section. Nishesh, the crazy gooner, how you doing? Glenn Cook, the governor. Realist 999, thank you very much for joining us tonight. You boys and girls have been busy. Alex Turner, there's a lot of chatting. I'm absolutely loving this, people. Good win. Hey, it wouldn't be a show without you, mate. Who else we got there? I saw you earlier there, Carlo. Don't think I didn't see you. Jonathan Cox, what are you saying, mate? Jerome Marks, what are you in there for? Huh? You moonlighting? Huh? Trying to earn some extra money. I'm not paying enough.
I think it was Melvin. On my name.
He said that bloke bottom right is absolutely unbelievable with all his player profiles.
He's got a fake account already.
Yeah, you know it. Have you got someone doing a fake account on you? I'm jealous. All right, D does. Thank you very much, Martin Nordkag. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And that is it. I know there's another name at the bottom. Zim Boom. I just said that. Zim Boom. Was you not listening?
I didn't hear Zim Boom until now.
Arsenal fans don't listen. They don't listen. And they don't look either. They don't look. You don't look. I know. I'm an Arsenal fan myself, so I can say it. You don't look. When I put out a post, the first thing you go, is any Arsenal news. And I'm just like, scroll down. Just look down. Hey, yo. You not Punch United. Oh, that's a terrible name, but thank you. Hopefully that's not your Christian name. Thank you very much for joining us tonight as well. Boom. We put the noise out. Yeah, I know. We put the noise out about Hossim Mayor. Hopefully we're going to get something within today, tomorrow, tonight. Usually we get Simon gets messages from his guys at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. It shows how late they work. Put it that way. When I get like a 6-minute message in the morning from site, I know that he's had a good one. I know that someone sent a message in the middle of the night. That's morning glory, I tell you that.
It's normally a 1 second one saying, "Is today the day Oba gets announced?"
Yeah. I'm like, shut up. No one cares about that. I want some real news. All right. Thank you very much, people. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you very much for Marie for joining us. She will be here every week. Zimboom, thank you. Like, share. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your mates about this show. We're trying to get bigger. We're trying to branch out. Hopefully, we're going to be doing this on a podcast sooner or later. People have asked for it. We're going to give you what the people want. There's going to be Marie every weekend at the start of each show talking about Bundesliga. If you have any questions on any players playing in the Bundesliga next season, please ask us. That's what she's here for. She loves it, and she knows her knowledge of German football is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like, she knows if there ain't a player out there, there's a player in Germany that she don't know about, they don't exist. That's why.
She just don't want to get us updates on Sancho and Havertz.
They don't exist.
Every week.
Sancho is done. It's done, Man United. It's done.
He's staying.
Right. Thank you very much, people. Appreciate the support. Make sure you like and subscribe, right? Peace out. Oh, I forgot to say my goodbye, Steve. So thank you very much, Steve. Steve Power. Steve's out.
Thank you for watching tonight. Cheers.
Thank you very much, the Marksman, Jerome Marks.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, Chef. You don't get no sound effects. All right. Peace out. Stay safe and wash your hands.